It's the NFL on CBS Week 7. We welcome you to Soldier Field in Chicago. Today, the Chicago Bears hosting the Baltimore Ravens. You like defense? Ray Lewis, one of the best middle linebackers of all time. A game-time decision, we were told last night. Doesn't look like it's a game-time decision now. He's ready to go. Brian Urlacher, he is a star in his own right. Two of the very best at that position on display here today. Ian Eagle, Solomon Wilcots, the rest of our CBS crew with you. Chicago has won the toss. Baltimore will kick it off with Matt Stover. Jerry Azuma is the return man for the Bears. Both of these teams interaction at 2 and 3. Key game in the Windy City here today. We're underway. Azuma, the return man. And a spin move. He comes up shy of the 25 as he falls forward. Justin Green makes the stop on special teams. Kyle Orton, Chicago's quarterback, making his 6th start. That matches the same number of starts that Rex Grossman, who was the #1 before the preseason injury, has had in his young NFL career.
It's the most consecutive starts by a quarterback in the last 4 or 5 years for the Chicago Bears. Have to go back to 2001, the last time it's happened.
Open up with a 1st and 10 from the 25 and a double tight end set. Clark and Reed for the Bears. Handoff to Thomas Jones. And Jones able to pick up a couple of yards on 1st down. Ray Lewis in on that stop for Baltimore. Take a look at the Bears offense. Injuries on that left side. John Tate is back, but Ruben Brown continues to sit, so Roberto Garza gets the nod at left guard. Backs and receivers. Thomas Jones is on pace for a 1,600-yard rushing season with 19 touchdowns if he continues at the rate he's going right now. Having a tremendous year. 2nd and 8 for Chicago. And Orton checking off. Orton looking to throw. And the quick out to the sideline. Mark Bradley, the rookie out of Oklahoma. Tackled by Chris McAllister along that sideline. A pickup of 6, subbing for the injured Kyle Bowler, who could be back in early November. On a 1st and 10 from the 34. First possession for Baltimore. Handoff, Jamal Lewis. The slow start for Lewis, and the Bears sniff it out. Brian Urlacher, first man there. It's a loss of 1 for Baltimore. Defensively, they come in ranked number 3 in the NFL. Brian Billick telling us this is the best defense they've gone against this year. Knocked up in the air and incomplete. Agunlea getting his hand on it. Able to deflect the pass from Anthony Wright. Let's take a look at this Chicago defense. Strong up front. Tommy Harris is a legitimate star at that defensive tackle spot. Linebackers, we're going to talk a lot about Lewis and Urlacher. How about Lance Briggs having a Pro Bowl type season on the outside? And in the secondary, much maligned, but Charles Tillman with his 2nd pick of the season last week in a victory over Minnesota. Heat sets up on the outside. On 3rd down, right pump, right throw, short of the 1st down marker. It's Todd Heat. And they pick up 5 yards. Nathan Vasher touches him up the corner. And the Bears defense is held. Let me put it to you this way. I did not practice my touchdown calls in front of the mirror. we're looking defense.
We're going to get to know the punters very well.
Little bit. I've done a little extra homework. Orton airing it out. On 1st down and nobody home. He was looking for Bradley. That's been his go-to target so far. And overshot him with McAllister in coverage.
I was impressed with how calm and confident Kyle Orton was when we met with him. And early in the ball game, he appears to be a little bit rattled. I think the nerves are getting to him. He overthrew the intended receiver by at least 10 yards that time. And Bradley had no chance of catching that pass.
Orton came into the season just hoping to get to the number 2 spot on the depth chart. That was his focus. Obviously, everything changed in a hurry after the Rex Grossman injury. On 2nd down, short drop and a quick pop. It's Bradley again. Samari Roll and Ray Lewis combined to bring him down. That's an 8-yard gain.
Expect the blitzing defense from the Ravens.
Deion Sanders in as the nickel. Remember, no Ed Reed today. Chad Williams getting the start. Reed missing his 1st NFL game. Orton, look at the time he had as he throws it to the sideline out of bounds. Pressure finally came at the end, and Orton was forced to get rid of it. Ray Lewis and the Ravens defense headed back to the sideline, and Ed Reed is forced in the role of spectator. On a 1st and 10 for the Ravens. Good field position from the 41. Lewis the lone setback for Baltimore. On the handoff, Lewis fumbles the ball. And the Ravens recover it. This is not the Jamal Lewis that we have seen through the years. One of the best running backs in the NFL.
Well, let's see if he actually gets the ball. I think he does. He has to secure it. Jonathan Ogden already on the ground. The ball rolls right up under him. And he's able to secure the football. And Jamal just has to settle down. I think he's trying to press. He's going to get a lot of work today. So it's just taking some time to find his rhythm in this offense.
This is the worst start of his NFL career. He's yet to crack 100 yards in a game. They'll feed it to him again. And he's stripped up from behind. Lance Briggs able to make that play. Lewis comes in averaging just 3 yards a carry. Well, Baltimore, they're dealing with a bunch of injuries. We told you about Ed Reed. We know about their starting quarterback bowler, Anthony Weaver, who's a big key on that defense at the end positions, out with a toe. Clayton, the rookie, wide out. And Lewis, as you mentioned, under 100% today.
A lot of money, a lot of first-rounders on that graphic. If you're Brian Billick, you're like, where are my playmakers? A lot of guys banged up, but they said that, hey, their best football lies ahead of them. They have to grind it out and try to pick up a win today.
Rush coming out of the pocket, right. Forced to throw it out of bounds. The pressure from Tommy Harris and Tank Johnson. These two defenses come in focused because the opposing offenses have done very little this season. The Bears, outside of divisional games, have done next to nothing on offense. And Baltimore, it's been a struggle throughout during their 2-3 start.
But on defense, this Bears, Chicago Bears football team, on the defensive side of the ball, very dominant. It's going to be very difficult for Baltimore to manufacture yards against this defense.
Another punt from Dave Zastigal, now in his 4th year, gets rid of it. Bobby Wade waiting. Wade breaks one tackle. To the sideline, Wade stays on his feet. And across the 30-yard line, Will Demps making the play on special teams, a 46-yard punt and a 17-yard return for Wade.
Starting this season and trying to salvage something. I think he has given them some stability, but Lovie Smith has told us he has to play better.
Here's Orton looking to throw. Orton over the middle. It's caught by Clark. Desmond Clark, the tight end, who had a pair of touchdowns last week in that 28-3 home win over Minnesota.
Big play by Clark, and we knew that this would happen. Orton loves throwing it to the tight end, bigger target, takes a shot from the safety Chad Williams, filling in for Ed Reed. You see the ball coming up the middle. Now he has to go on a collision course to try to dislodge that ball. Give Des Clark credit for holding on to the ball, making the catch. And he didn't go down after that hit, was able to maintain his balance.
26-yard hookup into Baltimore territory. Play action, rush is coming. Here's Orton throwing, and nobody in the area. Kelly Gregg had the heat on Kyle Orton, who was just able to get rid of it. 2nd and 10.
Well, the pressure comes from Kelly Gregg. Chad Williams coming off the corner. He's also has some pressure. They flush him out. This is a heads-up play by the young quarterback, understanding I'm outside of the tackle box. Don't take that sack and lose yards, and that's what Lovie Smith wants. He wants the quarterback to make good decisions so that you can manage the game and don't lose yards. Put yourself in a good position.
Last week, the first multi-touchdown game of his young career for Kyle Orton. Handoff, Thomas Jones trying to push the pile and a late flag. As Jones crossed the 40 for a 3-yard gain, penalty marker Tommy Polley was in on that stop.
You know, you get the sense in the NFC North, those teams are going to remain packed together until late in December. I don't think there's going to be any huge separation.
You could win 8 in this division
and get in.
I
don't think 6 and 10 will make it.
No. 8. Let's put the mark at 8. Here's Orton. He's got time. We'll throw it underneath the coverage. And the catch made by Bernard Berrien in his 2nd year out of Fresno State because of a decision. Justin Gage not playing, so Berrien getting the opportunity.
Well, watch the protection because Berrien comes clear from the other side of the field on the crossing route here. No way you're going to be able to complete that route unless you have good protection up front. See Berrien coming across from the other side, clears all the way on the opposite side of the field, that means you have good protection from the offensive line. You provide Kyle Orton with that kind of time, he's going to have a good game today.
Peter Boulware has come in along with Deion Sanders on a 3rd and 12. 3 receivers set for the Bears. Line of scrimmage is the 44. Here's Orton. Pats the ball and throws. It's going to be short of a first down. And Berrien is thrown down quickly by McAllister. So despite the fact that the Bears look to have something going on offense, they will fall well short.
They're number 1 in the National Football League in terms of red zone defense.
Ravens are pinned back deep. 1st and 10 at the 4-yard line. Play fake. Right. Guns complete. Todd Heap. Tough catch by the Pro Bowl tight end. And Heap's got a first down across the 25.
This is what Anthony Wright told us. You get 2 safeties deep in that cover 2 zone. He loves the tight end in the seam. And Todd Heap is a big guy. You see the safeties land a lick, doesn't phase him. He's dragging 2 or 3 defenders as he's making that catch over the middle of the football field.
Heap had lined up as a wide receiver. And Wright put it in a good spot. And look at the breathing room that Baltimore got on that one play. A 1st and 10 at the 26. Under 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. Bears crowd the line. Bootleg. They had it covered. Able to get rid of it. Little shake and bake move by Wilcox, the tight end, and he picks up 4 yards in what could have been a loss. Tommy Harris was the one who got into Wright's area.
Well, you have to be impressed with the poise Anthony Wright showed on that play, because there was a free blitzer coming right in his face. As soon as he turned around off the fake handoff, it was a play action fake. As soon as he turned around, the defender was right in his face. All he did was flick it out to make the completion.
Weather-wise this weekend, there's been a little bit of rain, but never really at this rate. It's coming down. Handoff. Lewis tiptoeing through that hole. And Jamal Lewis able to pick up about 4.5 yards. Charles Tillman, first man there to stick his hat in on Lewis. Then everybody else joined in for Chicago. Down to 4:55 to go in this first quarter. And a 3rd and 2 now for Baltimore. 3 receiver set. Patrick Johnson has come into the game. Let's call it 3rd and a long 1. I'll try to get it on the ground. And Lewis didn't get there. Ravens have had more success this season with Chester Taylor in the backfield as opposed to Jamal Lewis. But Brian Billick is trying to stick with his Pro Bowl running back.
A defensive battle between the Chicago Bears and Baltimore Ravens. Very similar in styles and very physical football team.
1st and 10 from the 22. He's got some room. Thomas Jones busting to the perimeter, and John Gilmore, the backup tight end, with a key block. That's a 15-yard burst for Jones. And a first down for Chicago.
Thomas Jones has been the pleasant surprise with the Chicago Bears. Had 3 consecutive 100-yard rushing games until last week.
And last week he came up just 11 yards shy as he rushed for 89 yards and a couple of touchdowns. .338 to play in this first quarter. Bears and Ravens are scoreless. Here's Orton for Chicago. Trying to dump it off, and it's dropped. Gabe Reed was in the area, and a flag was down. 11 penalties last week, and you say, well, that's very high. But considering what it was the week before, they had cut it in half. Handoff to Thomas Jones. And the Bears trying to push that pile. It's a 2-yard gain. Tommy Polley of Baltimore along with Maake Kimoyatu combined to bring them down. 2nd and 8.
If you're the Chicago Bears, I think you have to use your short passing game. And I think the receivers and tight ends, they're going to have to break tackles and create yards after the catch.
Still have not called the name of Muhsin Muhammad, the 2-time Pro Bowler at wide receiver for Chicago. Motion man is Reed. Here's Orton on 2nd and 8. Throwing the home run ball. Orton incomplete, and it was Muhammad with Chris McAllister as Orton tried to hit on the long one.
And that's why I'd like to see him work the short passing game. Kyle Orton seems to be more comfortable with the short passes. on each of his long balls so far in this game. 3 attempts, he hasn't even been close to the receiver. And I think he's misfiring, trying to be careful with the football, tends to overthrow, then underthrow. You underthrow it, it's an interception. So I try to stick to the short passing game, try to loosen up this defense a little bit. But they've run the ball, I think, fairly efficiently. Kyle just has to settle down and be more consistent.
In Baltimore territory, a 3rd and 8 now for the Bears. 4 receivers set. Deep drop, Orton. Orton lets it fly, incomplete, and flags come down. Bobby Wade with Dale Carter, the 12-year veteran. Automatic first down for Chicago at the 42 of Baltimore. Handoff. It's Jones. Jones able to explode to the outside. Good block by Kreutz and Garza as he shot through the gap, and a 14-yard pickup.
Well, they're getting movement up front with the line. See here, he'll break it this way. Watch how they get that Raven defense flowing to the left. And then see backside, out the back door goes Thomas Jones on the other side of the safety, 49, Chad Williams. And I think they're doing a good job of getting movement up front so far in this game. You can see 100 yards in 5 of his last 7 games. Thomas Jones has been a constant in this offense.
New set of downs for the Bears to work with from the 28. And it's Jones again. This time, Baltimore limits him to a 3-yard gain. Will Demps getting in there to make the stop from his free safety position. Well, Thomas Jones, the feeling coming into the year was, hey, he's going to be a 3rd down back, despite the fact that he was effective last year for the Bears. But with the drafting of Cedric Benson at number 4 out of Texas, Jones obviously didn't think that way.
And sometimes, you know, when they have a 1st-round draft pick coming in like Cedric Benson, Thomas Jones understands, I have to pick my game up, and I think he's done that. And he's afforded, I think, the Chicago Bears and given them time until Cedric Benson comes along.
2nd and 7 for the Bears. Orton, deep drop. Orton stands tall to a pocket and fires to Clark. Breaks a tackle. Desmond Clark creating after the catch. It's a 1st down for the Bears. Terrell Suggs whiffed, and a 13-yard gain for Chicago.
Well, he's picking up where he left off. Desmond Clark, 2 touchdowns a week ago, and already starting to make plays in this ball game.
So the penetration now by the Bears into Baltimore territory. It'll be a 1st and 10 from the Ravens 12. And Chicago doing a good job mixing right now the pass and the run. Double tight end set. Clark and Reed. Hand it off. It's Jones. And tripped up. 3-yard gain as Demps got him down low.
Well, they're starting to get steady movement up front.
So far, 2 key Baltimore penalties, though, resulted in Chicago 1st downs. On a 2nd and 7 inside the 10. Bootleg. Orton throwing. Complete to Edwards for the touchdown. Kyle Orton to Mark Edwards. Touchdown Bears. Late stages, 1st quarter.
It's the easiest play in football to defend. See the fullback slipping out. Terrell Suggs, 55, loses Mark Edwards, runs right by him, and scores a touchdown. So much talent on this Ravens defense, but sometimes they tend to want to make too many plays. They're expected to make big plays, but you have to lock in on the fundamentals. That time breakdown for the Ravens.
Extra point, Robbie Gould, and the Bears with a 7-0 lead in this 1st quarter. Strong drive by Chicago, and Orton able to get the score to his fullback. The Chicago Bears averaging just 8 points per game in games outside the NFC North. They've already got 7 here. As Baltimore goes to the ground game, 2 yards for Jamal Lewis. Lance Briggs sliding in to make the play for the Ravens from their own 35-yard line. Take the handoff to Lewis. Here comes the rush. Wright avoids it and throws incomplete. He was looking for Lewis, but it was off to the side. He misfired, and a 3rd and 8 upcoming.
And sometimes the Ravens are a team with so much talent, but they tend to beat themselves. Watch Terrell Suggs. He has the first man out of the backfield, Mark Edwards. But watch, he's going to go after the quarterback. He drops his coverage. It's just unsound discipline, and he doesn't stay in his coverage. Leaves Mark Edwards wide open, and when the defense breaks down in terms of assignment errors, that's when you give up plays. We know that he's a talented player, but he dropped his coverage on that play.
Out of the shotgun, right is dumped. A good layup for Chicago. Working against Tony Pashos on that right side.
Here he is, coming right around that right side. He's very quick off the ball and gets right to the quarterback. Beats Pashos, comes in, and gets Anthony Wright for the sack. I think Anthony has to do a better job of sensing the pressure because he came right into his face. It wasn't from the blind side. You have to sense when the defensive end is closing in on you and get rid of the football.
We are in the second quarter here in Chicago. And a 1st and 10 from the 23. Handoff to Thomas Jones. And Jones runs into a herd of Ravens defensive players. Gain of a yard, yard and a half. Chicago so far, though, 115 yards of offense. Ravens last week limited Cleveland to 186 yards of total offense over the course of the game.
It's an offensive explosion by the Chicago Bears standards, not used to getting so much, and then being able to do it against a quality defense like the Baltimore Ravens.
We'll call it a 2nd and 8. Short drop and the throw. It's on time to Muhammad. And a flag down as Muhammad spins his way for a first down. Tommy Hawley in on the stick for Baltimore. He signs with Chicago, and the Ravens end up signing Derek Mason. 2nd and 18 after the penalty. Knocked down. Going up to slap it away is Aubrey Franklin, the backup nose tackle in his 3rd year out of Tennessee. Good play. And now a 3rd and long.
You can see 91. He's the big guy. You'll see him get up. He'll be off the ball a little bit. Doesn't get much penetration, but because he's still on the line of scrimmage, he can see the ball, able to get up. What hops for the big guy? Showing some athletic ability.
6'1", 320. We are yet to see either one of these teams convert on a 3rd down so far. This is a 3rd and 18. They'll go conservative to Thomas Jones. And he picks up 2. So the Bears will punt. And felt strong enough to go out there and play. It was a game-time decision with that thigh injury. Did not practice this week, and he has been out there for Baltimore defensively. 1st and 10 from the 44. Jamal Lewis, and he picks up 2 yards. And you look at this Baltimore offense, and in the past, even if they didn't have the passing game, Solomon, the running game was always there. And it just has not been the case so far this season.
Yeah, Jamal Lewis had always been the constant. You see what he did in 2003. Over 2,000 yards rushing in that game. And then there's 17 games since the final game of that season. You could see he has struggled. But I think the offensive line has struggled in front of him. But certainly he has lost his rhythm in this offense, and he's working to get it back.
2nd and 8. They'll try Lewis again. Trying to accelerate. And Charles Tillman made sure that he wasn't going to do major damage. It's a 2-yard gain for Lewis, who has been known as a punishing runner throughout his NFL career, but he has been the one getting punished as Chester Taylor now comes onto the field. Taylor is averaging 5.8 yards per carry. And again, this week, Brian Billick quickly dismissed the idea that Chester Taylor would see more time. He said, we've got a Pro Bowl in Jamal Lewis. We're going to stick with it.
But Taylor has been the guy that has, I think, shown promise working in that stretch. Run play has a better feel, I think, for the timing of the blocking up front.
On a 3rd and 6, working out of the shotgun. Here's Wright stepping up, has the protection. Strong throw. And a first down to Randy Himes. He got it knocked out of his hands, but he had already had the first down cleanly. Alex Brown able to jar it. And a 13-yard hookup.
You know, Randy Himes goes 6'3", 211 pounds. And Anthony Wright said, I like to work out on the perimeter, goes up top, able to make this catch, and then came down inbounds working against Nathan Vasher. Really good catch that time by Randy, filling in for Mark Clayton.
Now Lewis in the backfield, Justin Green in front of him, the backup fullback. And a 1st and 10 in Chicago territory. Here's Lewis with a stutter step. And a flag down as Lewis schooled his way through the hole. Brian Urlacher making the stop. We talked to Urlacher about Lewis and the slow start. Urlacher said, hey, All I see is 5'10", 250
Holding.
pounds.
Offense number 68, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Kedrick Vincent called on the penalty. Urlacher says he still gets downhill, bad year or not, he is still one of the best in the NFL. So a lot of respect from Brian Urlacher in reference to Jamal Lewis.
He also showed, I think, a lot of respect to Ray Lewis when we talked about the battle at the middle linebacker position. He says, you know, we're not going to play each other, but I guess it will come down to whoever makes the most plays for their football team. So I think he respects Ray Lewis and he respects the competition between them.
He did get a little frustrated by the conversation, though, during the week. He said, hey, it's not me against him. Enough. It's driving me nuts. I didn't argue with him. Wright throwing on the run. It's complete to Mason. And he angles out of bounds. A first down out across the 30-yard line. And now the Ravens are on the move. That's a 20-yard pass play.
Well, Anthony Wright making excellent decision. It's a corner cat blitz. Nathan Vasher, 31, comes in applying the pressure, but the quickness and heads-up play by Anthony Wright gets the ball out of his hand. He finds his open receiver, Derek Mason, coming across the field. So it's really good anticipation by the quarterback. Derek Mason, one of 3 players in the National Football League with at least 5 receptions in each game this season. So he has been a factor since coming over from the Tennessee Titans as a free agent.
4 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
3-2, thank you.
9:59 to go in this first half. Mason has been a productive wide receiver, so durable during his time in Tennessee, and a first down for Baltimore. Jamal Lewis. And not much there. A 2-yard gain as Tillman got him down low. And you just feel like you're waiting. You're waiting for that one play to hit for Jamal Lewis. And so far, we're talking about 8 carries, 10 yards.
Way behind schedule. I think for a running back, first it starts with you need to be in shape when you start the football season. You need to be able to carry the load. And I think they would like to get him 25 to 30 carries. Right now, his conditioning won't allow it.
2nd and 8, crowd the line, Chicago. Here's Wright, comfortable in the pocket. High throw and a smack. Alan Ricard just got acquainted with Lance Briggs.
Alan Ricard has words for Anthony Wright when he gets back to the huddle. Take care of me. Keep that ball a little low so I can make the catch, but certainly don't expose my ribs to Lance Briggs.
Ricard has been dealing with a calf strain, and he heads to the sideline. Now a 3-receiver set, nickel package for Chicago on defense, a 3rd and 8. Chester Taylor parallel with Wright. Operating out of the gun, Wright steps up, Wright in some trouble. Wright gets out of there and then takes a hit. Jerry Azuma. Short of a first down, Anthony Wright pops up though as Tommy Harris and Ogunleye applied that pressure.
Well, you want Anthony Wright to lower a shoulder at that first down marker, but he lowers his shoulder, but Jerry Azuma lowers his shoulder even lower and lays a boom on the quarterback. We'll take a listen. That's what they mean by low man wins,
Baltimore winning back in 2001. And right now the Bears with a 7-3 lead. Orton loses the ball. It slipped out of his hands as Cedric Benson, the rookie, is able to recover it. Kyle Orton looking to throw on first down.
He's trying to get rid of it quickly. Ball just slips out of his hand. And that's a fumble because his hand was going backwards. Heads up by the other rookie in the backfield, Cedric Benson, to fall on the ball. I think it has to be a scary thought if you're Lovie Smith to have a rookie quarterback playing for you, and he's backed up by a rookie running back.
Well, Lovie Smith told us that he looks at these two teams almost mirror images of one another. Run the ball, great defense, excellent special teams. Handoff to Benson, getting an opportunity. And Benson gains 3. It'll set up 3rd and long. Adalys Thomas makes the hit. Let's go to New York. An update with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Ian, if you heard an earlier report elsewhere that Randy Moss wasn't playing today, you heard wrong. Kerry Collins to Moss for the touchdown and a 10-7 Oakland lead over Buffalo under 11 minutes to play in the first half.
You know, Greg, I did hear an earlier report that Randy Moss may not be playing, and I did hear wrong.
And I'm sure the Bills secondary heard it and wasn't happy to see him come out of the
Good
tunnel.
point.
Shades of Willis Reed.
Nate Clemens going, what? I thought he wasn't playing. 3rd and 15 for Chicago. Under pressure, Orton didn't see it from the backside, and he is dumped. Kyle Orton unable to break free as Baltimore laid on the heat. Thomas was in there for the Ravens, as many of the fans did here today in Chicago. Rain is steady, and the Bears with a 7-3 lead. 6:35 to go, first half. Here's Wright on first down. Guns complete to Heap, and Todd Heap able to stick his helmet down and work his way into Chicago territory as he speared Nathan Vasher. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. Greg, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer have all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
And Ian Lance Briggs told us he would be covering Todd Heap in this game today. He says, I'm going to play to my help. I don't think he had any help on that play because Todd Heap was wide open as he picked up that first down.
And a 17-yard pass play. Orlando Brown back in there at right tackle for Baltimore. 1st and 10 from the 47 of Chicago. Wright steps up in the pocket and zings to the outside. Alan Ricard, the fullback. And he is spilled out at the 40-yard line by Mike Brown and Lance Briggs. And Ricard is on his back. Alan Ricard able to walk off, but he is replaced by the rookie fullback Justin Green out of Montana. On a 2nd and 3. Lewis in the backfield for Baltimore. He'll get the call. And Lewis thrown backwards by Brian Urlacher. It's a 2-yard gain for Jamal Lewis. 3rd and 1.
Brian Urlacher fills the hole. See the first 5 possessions for the Baltimore Ravens struggling, and minus yards on 2 of those 5 possessions. 4 punts. Did manage an 8-play drive where they were able to get a field goal.
Well, within striking distance here if they can convert on a 3rd and 1. They are 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions thus far. Double tight end set. Heap and Dinkins. They need a yard to keep this drive alive. And Lewis will go up top to get it. Able to hurdle over the pile for a 2-yard pickup. And this drive remains alive for Baltimore.
It's good execution by the offensive line. Jonathan Ogden came all the way down and was able to clear out Brian Urlacher. They know Urlacher wants to play downhill. They provided room for Jamal Lewis to lunge forward for that first down.
So Lewis heads to the sideline, getting dried off as the rain continues to come down. He's replaced by Chester Taylor. Bears with a 7-3 lead. We come up on 4 minutes to go in this first half from Soldier Field. And a 1st and 10 from the 37. Here's Wright. Got the protection on the quick slant. Chester Taylor and a flag down.
What he wants to do is improve the balance on this football team.
Back it up to the 47-yard line for Wright and the Ravens. Deep drop. Wright gets rid of it. One-handed grab by Heap. And he's brought down. The hit by Hunter Hillenmeyer as Ogunlea applied that pressure on Wright.
And accomplished
Well,
nothing.
he caught it with one hand and it went between his legs at one point as he juggled it. And he was ruled down there. So 2nd and 20. Play action. Wright. Little shovel for Jamal Lewis. And extends forward to the 41. It turns out to be a 5-yard pickup. Lance Briggs, the hit. And Ogunlea once again getting into the pocket and in the face of Anthony Wright.
Well, this Chicago Bears defense, they just swarm. Wherever there's a white jersey, there's a black jersey to follow. And that's why they rank #1 in the National Football League in terms of yards allowed per possession. Only 20 yards every time the opponent has the football. And it's #1 in the National Football League. And they swarm and get to the ball the way their head coach Lovie Smith wants it.
Shotgun, 3rd and 15. Here's Wright stepping up. Guns wide open to Derek Mason. And a first down for Baltimore as he crossed the 25. 18-yard pass and catch right to Mason. Anthony Wright on this drive, 5 for 5, 47 yards. A double tight end set on a 1st and 10 at the 2-minute warning, 2nd quarter. Here's Wright, deep drop. Wright throwing underneath. Good hands by Heat. Here's Heat. Sticking the shoulder down and driving forward. He's got a first down. Vasher and Harris bring him down, a 12-yard gain. Coming up, Sprint halftime report. Greg, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer have all the latest NFL scores and highlights. Week 7 in the National Football League, and that's coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
And Ian, that was the 8th play of the drive. Of the 8 plays, 6 have been passes, something very uncommon for the Baltimore Ravens. 1st and 10 from the 12, back to the ground game, and it's Lewis getting to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1, depending on the spot. Brian Urlacher in on that hit for Chicago. 1:10 and counting left in this first half. I think on 2nd down, Anthony Wright, he's reading the safeties. And Chicago, they like to bring Mike Brown down in the box. If he gets a single safety in center field, look for him to take a shot to his receivers on the outside.
Bears have been incredible inside the red zone defensively. 3 receivers set on a 2nd and 9. Down to 44 seconds left. Wright out of the shotgun. Mishandles it. And able to dive on it before any further damage takes place. On a 3rd and 16. Taylor in the backfield. Here's Wright. On a cross, it's complete. Justin Green slides out of bounds. And it's well short of a first down. They pick up 6 yards. Carson Palmer may have been schooled a bit earlier today by that Pittsburgh defense. First play from scrimmage in this second half. And once again, it's Justin Green. Looked like Alan Ricard did get banged up at the end of the second quarter. Right throw, high throw, and it's incomplete. Randy Himes against Nathan Vasher. And the young Chicago defensive back wins that battle.
We talk about the timing of the pass play. The quarterback should be releasing the ball when the receiver hits the top of his route. Randy Himes had to wait on this ball. It's thrown very high. I think it allowed a great deal of time for Nathan Vasher, number 31, the cornerback, to recover and come back and make a play on the ball.
Now a 2nd and 10. No Mark Clayton today because of an ankle injury. So that is one weapon that's been taken away from Anthony Wright. 2nd and long, handoff. Lewis, again, the stutter step, trying to pick his spot. And he ends up getting a gain of 1. Lance Briggs making that stop for Chicago from the outside linebacker spot.
And Lance Briggs was the first defender in the backfield, and he was the first guy to tackle Jamal Lewis. And when you see Jamal Lewis at his best, the first defender never makes that tackle. He's always been able to make the first guy miss, whether it's by using his quickness with the quick feet or the power and a good, strong, stiff arm to elude the first tackler.
Under a steady rain, Ravens operating with a 3rd and 9 from the 26. Lewis and Taylor in the backfield. Pump fake. Right, looking on the other side, and it's incomplete. It was Jamal Lewis in the vicinity, and a penalty marker thrown back at the 14-yard line. Just underway in the second half. Bears with a 7-6 lead over the Ravens. 1st and 10 for Chicago from the 40. Handoff, Thomas Jones trying to cut to the outside. Cannot break free of Terrell Suggs. Good open field play, a loss of 2. Visit CBS Sportsline tonight for a complete wrap-up of all the day's action. Watch video highlights and read in-depth analysis from our team of NFL experts only at CBSSportsline.com. Jones with 9 carries, 40 yards. And although they do have a touchdown, the Bears offense hasn't done much else. Orton, high throw, he laid his receiver out. Gabe Reed took a shot from Chris McAllister from behind. It's incomplete.
He's able to get that hit because Kyle Orton hangs his receiver out to dry, laid him open for this hit. Good hit by Chris McAllister, reading the route. And the high throw, it forces the receiver to have to wait on it. By the time the ball arrives, the defender can react. So you have to get that ball out quickly, but you have to be accurate with the football as well.
Now it's a 3rd and 12 for Chicago. Sanders in with a nickel package for Baltimore. Here's Orton. Here comes the rush. Delayed blitz. Orton slings it to the sideline, and it's caught by the Ravens. Out of bounds.
And we have a flag thrown up the field in coverage.
So Chicago now with a 1st and 10 at its own 43. Here's Orton, fake the handoff. They handle the rush. Orton throws and finds a seam. Muhsin Muhammad. 23-yard hookup. And Muhammad able to haul it in.
Oh, it's a beautiful throw by Kyle Orton. He gets this one right over the outreached arms of Will Dips. Look at that. And then underneath the cornerback, Chris McAllister. So it's a very small window. Look at that to complete that pass. But when you have a tall, rangy receiver like Muhsin Muhammad, you can go that high with the football.
For Muhammad, his first catch of the day. He's got the grass stuck on the helmet. Handoff to Thomas Jones. Looking to go the other way. Flag down as Jones accelerates. And Chad Williams along with Will Demps bring him down. It's an 8-yard gain as he's coming back.
Now this Thomas Jones is explosive.
Jones sets up in the slot for Chicago. Orton looking, throwing to Mark Bradley. And they're able to get back that yardage from the penalty. 9-yard pickup. Chad Williams in coverage, the safety.
You know, it's a nice throw by Kyle Orton. We told you if you keep it short and tight, he'll get the ball in there. And then Mark Bradley is a very impressive rookie. He makes the catches. He can create yards after the catch. And the hit by Chad Williams, he comes up gimpy.
So Williams leaves. He was hurt on the play. Deion Sanders comes on. And B.J. Ward, another backup safety, has stepped on the field. Already they're thin because of the injury to Ed Reed. 2nd and 11. Here's Orton. Set it up underneath for Jones, trying to circle and create some extra space, but nothing doing. Shoved out by Samari Roll. And not much there. In fact, a loss on the play.
It's also a heads-up play by Samari Roll, but then Dallas Thomas was also in position.
So they lost 5 on that pass play, bringing up 3rd and 16. Orton now 10 of 17, 104 yards, and the touchdown to his fullback, Mark Edwards. Bobby Wade on as a 3rd receiver for Chicago. 3rd and long from the 39-yard line. Orton throwing for Clark, incomplete. That one would have been well short of a first down as he looked for the quick out. The number 2 defense in the NFL, Baltimore. The number 3 defense in the NFL, Chicago. 7-6, Bears in front. On a 1st and 10 from the 9-yard line, up the middle, Jamal Lewis. And he picks up 2.
The Ravens finding it tough to move the ball against the Chicago Bear defense. You see 3 and out on the last possession. Throwing the ball to Randy Heim, they break up that pass play, and then they come back with a run play. It's snuffed out at the line of scrimmage. Jamal Lewis not able to get to the 2nd level. The 3rd play, this play's dead in the water. An attempted screen, they're not even close. Of their 7 possessions in this game, they've gone 3 and out 4 times. And the ironic thing, they're throwing the ball more than they're running it.
2nd and 8. Play action right. He will throw it, a low throw. So Todd Heap, who had some room in front of him, is forced to adjust and then fight for extra yardage as he gets right down to the 1st down line. It's going to be very close depending upon where they spot it for Todd Heap.
Now, Todd Heap has been, I think, the constant weapon for Anthony Wright. You could tell he's very comfortable going to the big tight end. And what Todd Heap gives you, he gives you the mismatch. I think Lance Briggs has had a difficult time covering Todd Heap. Well, anytime you put a corner or a safety on him, they have a difficult time covering.
He did not get the 1st down. It is 3rd and short. And Wright will do it himself. 1st down, Baltimore. He picks up 2. And coming up tomorrow on CBS, it's all new, beginning with TV's best lineup of comedies. The King of Queens, the new hit, How I Met Your Mother, 2.5 Men, and Out of Practice. Followed by Monday's number 1 show, CSI Miami, plus an all-new late show with David Letterman. It's tomorrow here on CBS. Charles Tillman limped off for Chicago, so Jerry Azuma, the former starter, has come onto the field for the Bears. Base defense. 1st and 10, bootleg, and Wright throws it over the head of Derek Mason. Ogunlea. How many times have we said his name throughout the day? the pressure from the former Miami Dolphin.
And Lovie Smith said that our defensive ends have to have a good game. Alex Brown, Wally Ogunleye, and he came out that time and really got into the face of Anthony Wright.
Ogunleye has 3 tackles, 1 sack today. Alex Brown, a young player himself, he's developed nicely. He's got that good first step in his 4th year out of Florida. Heap sets up in the slot, shotgun on a 2nd and 10. Ravens trailing 7-6. Wright zings it to the outside, and it's Daniel Wilcox. And it's basically at 2-yard gain or so, depending upon where they spot it. So a modest gainer as Vasher and Briggs collaborate.
A smothering defense for Chicago. You can see they play so fast because they are aware of their assignments and what they have to do in this defense. It's a bend but don't break defense, but they're not bending at all. They're swarming on every pass and on every run.
Chris Thompson in as the nickel for Chicago. 3rd and 7. Crowd getting energized. Working out of the gun. Wright has the protection. Wright throwing. It's complete to Chester Taylor and short of a first down. Nathan Vasher able to slide over and make that play and hold Taylor to no gain.
Well, what they're doing, they're so good up front. They're only rushing 4 defenders. That means they get to cover with 7, and there's nowhere for Anthony Wright to go with the football.
Best starting field position for the Bears today. Thomas Jones, a player that Brian Billick told us the Ravens thought about drafting back in 2000 when they took Jamal Lewis. And this will be Jones, and a spin move to no avail. A 1-yard gain. Suggs and Demps combined to bring him down. Tomorrow, it's all new. Late Show with Dave as he welcomes Nicolas Cage and Jerry Lewis. Later this week, catch Uma Thurman, Reggie Miller, and Bette Midler. The Late Show with David Letterman, all this week on CBS. So Jones ends up getting drafted by Arizona, moves on to Tampa Bay, and has finally found a permanent home here in Chicago. 2nd and 9 for the Bears from the 44 of Baltimore. Here's Orton checking off with Reed now shifting to the backfield. They'll try to run it again. And Jones is smothered. That time, Terrell Suggs, first man there, a gain of 1.
Well, Suggs just came right down that line of scrimmage to tackle Thomas Jones. You see what the Bears have done in their last 8 possessions. A lot of punts. 6 punts. And, of course, 1 touchdown on an 8-play drive. But they do need help from the defense and special teams to get that long return, either after a punt or a kickoff return or getting the turnover on the defensive side.
3rd and 8. Here's Orton. Oh, heavy rush and knocked away. Looking for Muhammad. And a flag is thrown back at midfield. Back it up, 1st and 15 at the 33. Jones in the backfield. They'll go to him. Here's Jones accelerating through a hole, and it looked like that one had a chance to go for more than just 7 yards. But Chad Williams, who was back in there defensively, able to cut in and make the play.
Chad Williams may have saved a touchdown. You get the sense that Thomas Jones is ready to break this game wide open with a long run as he did 1 week ago. He's a guy that he's going to keep plugging. I mean, he's not a real big guy, but very strong and capable of breaking tackles and very quick and explosive.
Averaging 4.6 yards per carry this season. That was a 7-yard gain. This is 2nd and 8. Orton throwing to Muhammad. To the 20-yard line. McAllister with the coverage. And a little bit shy of the first down by about 2. So 3rd and 2 after the 7-yard pickup.
And they're getting close to that red zone where they have been money. As you said, haven't gotten here often, but once they get into the red zone, they look to make a play. 3rd and 2, you have to give it, I think, to Thomas Jones. Come with the stretch play. He's a guy that he'll stretch it out and then slash it and gash you for a 4 or 5 yard gain.
3rd and 2. Fake the handoff. Orton will throw for the first down. Desmond Clark. Dallas Thomas with a tackle. That's an 8-yard gain. And the Bears are in business inside the 15.
Good play calling. See, they fake the stretch play. It's play action, and all you need to do is get one person biting on the run play. They sneak in the tight end. Desmond Clark gets behind the defense. An easy throw for Kyle Orton. Coming off the play action, you're going to get that because the run game has been working with Thomas Jones. Makes it easy for Kyle Orton to make that completion.
Bears trying to extend their lead in front, 7-6. And a 1st and 10 from the 12. Fake the handoff. Throws low for Clark. He skidded that one. It's the same exact play that they just ran for the first down.
And they had beaten the linebacker, Tommy Polley. Kyle Orton wishes he had it back. All he had to do was be a little more patient and make the throw. Completed the pass on 3rd and 2, then on 1st and 10. Got a little antsy as the pressure came in his face.
3:42 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And a 2nd and 10 from the Baltimore 12. Motion man is Clark. Handoff. It's Jones. Finds a hole. And spun down just short of the 5-yard line. Good block by John Gilmore, a backup tight end, sliding over.
Well, you need to watch Ray Lewis. Ray's going to come here, and then the run comes from this side. And watch Ray scrape to the ball. Because if he doesn't make this tackle, it's definitely going to be a touchdown. See, he pops it through. You see the quickness. Ray Lewis still can get to the ball, and he still can make tackles.
Here's Orton. Rolling. Orton throwing. Nobody home. It's incomplete. Muhsin Muhammad was in the front of the end zone. That ball was high and to the corner.
It was a smart play by Kyle Orton.
Well, tight end set on a 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line for the Ravens. Handoff. Lewis, he's got a hole. And Jamal Lewis bangs his way for a 1st down. Edwin Mulitalo with a good block, surging Jamal Lewis forward.
Clearly one of his best runs of the year. You see, they get blocking, but it's going to hit up the middle. And they do an excellent job. See the clear out right there by Mulitalo? They get him to the 2nd level. It's one of their finer looking runs that they've gotten from Jamal Lewis so far this year. And if they can get him going, get him back in rhythm, this offense will improve.
13-yard gain for Lewis and a 1st and 10 at the 36. Right will throw a sideline route and a rare drop by Heath. And he knows it. 2nd and 10 for Baltimore.
Normally very reliable for a big guy who can also run, has an excellent pair of hands. As he had to make a move to position himself to make the catch, just dropped the football. Now in 2nd and 10, I think you have to continue to allow the offensive line to get some rhythm running the ball, allow Jamal Lewis to go to work.
Heath today, 6 catches, 61 yards. Lewis rushing 14 carries, 32 yards. This is carry number 15. And Lewis gets hit by Harris. A 2-yard gain as the free safety, a physical one at that, makes the play. Time for an NFL Today update. We head to New York. Greg Gumbel.
All right, Ian, this week, Raider running back Lamont Jordan said, let me help you with the offensive load. He's doing just fine today. 17 yards to the end zone for the touchdown. The Raiders lead the Bills 24-10 in the 3rd, guys.
What a pivotal game that was for Buffalo, considering the way the AFC East was shaping up. And right now, trailing Oakland out on the left coast. Shotgun, right, throws, and caught. Randy Himes. He's got a 1st down for Baltimore out near midfield. It covers 11 yards. Jerry Azuma, the coverage. We have not seen Charles Tillman return. Well, this Halloween season, CYTV Guide says How I Met Your Mother is so funny, you'll scream. Entertainment Weekly calls it one of the 5 great new shows to watch. How I Met Your Mother tomorrow on CBS, America's most watched network. Big catch by Himes. Tommy Harris just limped off for Chicago. The defensive tackle. Fake the handoff. Right. Got the protection. Safety valve is Lewis. And Lewis gang tackled as he crossed midfield. Urlacher, Hillenmeyer, and Briggs, all 3 linebackers on the spot.
You never see one guy making a tackle alone. It's usually in pairs or in threes. This is a very fast defense. They swarm to the ball. And, you know, Lovie Smith, the head coach, Remember, spent a lot of years with Tony Dungy. You see this Chicago Bear defense looking a lot like the Indianapolis Colts, but I think this is a defense that's a lot more physical.
2nd and 9. Could be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Wright, pump fake. Wright doesn't know the pressure was coming from the backside and gets rid of it with 2 seconds left on the clock. Tank Johnson applying that pressure. Well, two teams that are so proud of their past defenses, not only their current defenses, but you want to talk about monsters of the Midway. Chicago with Bill George back in the 50s and 60s. Dick Butkus, 60s and 70s, and of course, Mike Singletary, all of them Hall of Famers.
Well, there are 10 middle linebackers in the Hall of Fame. The Chicago Bears have had 3 of them. And Brian Urlacher would like to follow in that mode. And I think he is one heck of a football player. Leads all middle linebackers with 6 sacks so far.
They fake on the blitz. Wright's, though, in some trouble. Flag down. Wright looking to run. And Wright stumbles forward right to the first down line as Alfonso Boone came in to make the stop. Penalty marker is thrown back at the 41.
Boone.
Bears lead at 10-6, and the Ravens with a 3rd and 19 at their own 41. Shotgun. Wright steps up, throws well short of a first down to Todd Heath. So getting it to the 49-yard line, a 10-yard gain. And Lance Briggs in on the hit and maybe a little shaken up. Appears to be limping and walking gingerly after the play. They take over a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. There's Orton throwing on an out route to Muhammad. And extending forward right at the first down marker. Roll and Demps. Well, you know the debate was going to pop up this week. Who's got the best defense looking back, Solomon, the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears?
Well, look at those numbers. The points allowed by the Ravens in 2000 was just incredible. And look at the takeaways for that Bears team. They have the 20th anniversary of their Super Bowl. But I think you have to look at it. Remember, the Baltimore Ravens went 5 consecutive games that year without scoring a touchdown on offense, but could still go on to win the Super Bowl. That was very impressive.
Thomas Jones gets banged down as Lewis and Franklin combine. A 1-yard gain at halftime. A ceremony honoring the 85 Bears and the Super Bowl trophy in attendance, including their defensive coordinator, Buddy Ryan. Buddy's son, Rex Ryan, the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. And when we talked to Terrell Suggs, he thought, hey, Buddy's going to come to the game. He's going to wear a Ravens hat. He's a Ravens fan.
Buddy knew better.
No,
he did not do that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's conflicted. You know, he's a Bears guy, but his son's over there coaching the Baltimore Ravens.
On the bootleg, throwing out of bounds is Orton. Kelly Gregg applied that pressure. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Bears. College life rocks. The sports, the parties, the hard bodies. But next Sunday, college life is going to bite. CBS presents a world premiere movie just in time for Halloween, Vampire Bats, next Sunday on CBS.
And it's a difficult question to answer. You know, Shannon Sharp on the NFL Today had an interesting point that Baltimore Ravens defense, they did not allow a 100-yard rusher in any regular season game that year. I think it's an incredible feat. So it's a very difficult question to answer.
On the quick hitter to Mark Bradley. And the rookie's got a first down for Chicago. 14-yard gain. And Bradley's got terrific speed.
Bradley is very impressive. Watch the skinny route. He makes the catch and then takes the hit, still able to lunge forward. And here's a guy that has a ton of ability. And they have a lot of rookies playing on this offense. I think they've got a lot out of their 2004 draft. Mark Bradley was a 2nd-round pick. Benson has yet to get it going, the 1st-round pick at running back. But Kyle Orton, he's already contributing.
Orton, a 4th-round pick out of Purdue, and a 3-year starter for the Boilermakers. And off to Jones. And Thomas Jones, caught by Jared Johnson. It's a 5-yard gain for Jones as they inch closer to midfield. 2nd and 5 upcoming for the Bears. 63 yards on the ground for Jones as we are now under 12 minutes to play in the 4th.
But Jones has been steady. He's been steady in his ability to run the ball on this Ravens defense. Only when they've had penalties has it been difficult for them to move the ball.
11:24 to go in this fourth quarter. Handoff on a 2nd and 5 to Thomas Jones. Breaks a tackle. Here's Jones. Oh, the dance move by Jones to get a first down. This crowd comes alive. It's a 13-yard gain, and he earned every single inch of it.
Here in Chicago, they love their tough football players. Thomas Jones is one of them.
Coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes. That'll be followed by a new episode of Cold Case and Jennifer Lopez in the network premiere of Enough. That's tonight on CBS. First down at the 38-yard line of Baltimore. Terrell Suggs missed that tackle on Jones. They'll feed him the ball again. Here's Jones. Another juke move by Jones. And he falls forward for a gain of 6.
So much is said about Jones. It's the offensive line for the Bears now who are starting to, I think, eat away at the defensive front for the Baltimore Ravens. Starting to get movement, starting to create rush lanes for Thomas Jones.
17 carries, 81 yards for Jones. Last week was forced to wear a knee brace, received a pain-killing shot before the game. And here's Jones. Not much there. He picked up a yard, yard and a half, depending upon where they spot it. As the clock is rolling, under 10 minutes to go now in the fourth. We mentioned it earlier, the Baltimore Ravens, they're just not winning away from home, and you see what they've done their last 5 road games. The numbers are wide in disparity.
Yeah, they're really struggling. The turnovers are the thing that you can see eating away at the football team. So far, both teams have protected the ball today, which is the reason why you have that close score. If you can protect the football, it allows you to stay in the game.
Important 3rd and 2. Chance to get a first down and use more clock. Orton throwing. It's complete to Clark. Bears feel like they've got the first down. He was swung backwards by a combination of Williams and Thomas for Baltimore. They needed 2. Looks like he got 3, and it will be a Bears first down.
Well, the Bears are spreading the ball around to a number of different receivers. It is the short passing game that allows the offensive line to not only protect Kyle Orton, but it allows the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands quickly. So right now, everything is in sync for Lovie Smith and his offense and moving the ball.
6 different receivers that Orton has used today, and a 1st and 10 inside the 30. Play action. Orton looks. Orton throws it away. Now, Kyle Orton is conscious right now of not making that one big mistake that could cost his team.
That's what his head coach wants, and that's what everyone wants from a young quarterback. Only his 6th start in the National Football League.
The quarterback was not under pressure, which is required by rule. 2nd down.
Oh, the Ravens were complaining, saying, hey, he was in the pocket. There was no one in the area when he threw the ball, but he was not under pressure. I think Orton understood that he didn't have a receiver open and only had one option. So all he did was wanted to throw the ball, didn't want to take the sack, come back to fight on 2nd and 10.
On 2nd down, go back to the bread and butter. Thomas Jones, and cannot turn the corner. Thomas made sure of it. It's a loss of 2 for Jones.
Thomas Jones has been effective running the ball. Starts with the movement at the offensive line. But see the quickness and his ability to get to the 2nd level. Once they get the block, he can squirt and hit the hole and get to that 2nd level. And he's been able to make plays on his own. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage. About this quickness, the stutter step on Samari Roll. And then again, making it into the secondary. And so good blocking up front. But even when it hasn't been there, he's been able to make something happen on his own.
Lewis came in with that thigh injury and gave it a go today, but it looks like his afternoon is over. 3rd and 12 after the timeout. Orton, it's dropped. Bobby Wade. Right now, the Bears are looking at a 48-yard field goal attempt. If they make it, you're talking about a 7-point game. That was a 13-play, 51-yard drive for Chicago, but no points to show for it. And the Ravens take over. 1st and 10 from the 38. Avoiding the pressure. Wright with a spin move. Wright's in trouble. And sacked. Alfonso Boone leading that charge. Tommy Harris applied pressure as well.
Well, they have the pressure coming in, and there's several players who have an attempt to get the sack. See the pressure initially, steps up in the pocket. He makes Tommy Harris miss, and then Alfonso Boone, he finds Anthony Wright running around in that backfield. He keeps working and comes up with the sack for the Chicago Bears. The good thing is they can rush forward and get pressure. They don't have to blitz to do so.
Shotgun, handoff, Chester Taylor. And Taylor continues to impress when given the opportunity. Taylor with a good run, 13.5 yards on that burst. As we head to New York, NFL Today update. Here's Greg.
All right, Ian, thank you. Out in Oakland, the Buffalo Bills not quite done yet. Kelly Holcomb to Josh Reed. A little stepping and dancing, 9 yards and a touchdown, and then close to within a TD. 24-17 Oakland. A lot of time remaining in the fourth quarter, guys.
So the Bills still in it. We'll keep you updated here with the Oakland Raiders trying to get some signs of life. They're in the basement in the AFC West. On a 1st and 10 from the 47. Pump fake, right, throwing the long ball, airs it out, down the sideline, it's incomplete. Mason in a matchup with Charles Tillman, and they were stride for stride with one another. Another update, Greg Gumbel standing by in New York.
All right, guys, this time at the Meadowlands, the New York Giants trying to hang with the Denver Broncos from 4 yards out. Tiki Barber finds the end zone with the extra point. 23-17, Dallas's lead, 9 minutes to play.
Well, a week ago it was Brandon Jacobs who got the call and fumbled the ball at the goal line. This time, Tiki Barber for the Giants gets it inside the 5 and cashes in. Here, the Bears lead at 10-6. A 2nd and 10 for Baltimore. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. The Bears' defensive front continues to get it done.
They've had constant pressure. Sometimes sacks don't tell the story. Yeah, they have 2 sacks in this ball game. You see that one by Agulia, but it's the constant pressure. Hits, hurries from the quarterback, Anthony Wright. He's confused, he's dazed, and then they come in for that 2nd sack. So he understands that this is a front four that does have constant pressure, and then when they don't get in the backfield, they get a hand up and knock down the ball, frustrating this offense for the Baltimore Ravens.
It looked like 3rd-year pro Ian Scott out of Florida who got his hand on that one. 10th penalty of the day for Baltimore. Is coming, and Wright is dumped. Tank Johnson.
Tank Johnson, number 99. It's pressure in the face of the quarterback, and it's before Anthony Wright can do anything. It's the big man. He's coming. Look at him looping around. They come around the corner to force him to step up in the pocket, but the big man, Tank Johnson, continues to push forward.
Has really picked up now here in Chicago. 1st and 10 for the Bears. They lead it 10-6. Line of scrimmage just shy of the 25. Handoff, Thomas Jones. And Jones will pick up 4.5. Terrell Suggs in on that stop for Baltimore. We'll see how much clock Chicago can use. Although they didn't get points out of that last drive zone, and they did use more than 6 minutes of the clock to try to put this game away.
Yeah, and they're playing keep away right now. Time of possession just about even with both teams, but this final 5 minutes I think is going to be very telling. Ray Lewis is out of the game, and if you can hammer away at the middle of that defense, they could possibly break.
Chicago has run the football 22 times. Handoff. It's Jones again. To a slight opening, and Jones is going to come up shy of a 1st down.
But you see him working the middle of the defense. I don't think so.
We'll see. 3rd and 6. It is pouring here in Chicago. Orton's going to throw it. Incomplete, looking for Muhammad.
Wow. And Chris McAllister is frustrated because he had a jump on the ball. He slipped. He had a jump and a bead on the ball. He was sensing the 3-step drop and would have had an interception had he not slipped and fallen down on the play.
And the Bears leading at 10-6. Nickel package for Chicago. Handoff. Chester Taylor getting the call. And Taylor cutting it to the outside. He continues to do positive things when he touches it. Ian Scott and Lance Briggs combined to bring him down. That's a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens understand that while they haven't played their best football on offense, they have an opportunity. Interesting that Jamal Lewis isn't in the ball game at this point. I think they understand they have a spark with Chester Taylor.
Second carry for Taylor. He's got 21 yards. Line of scrimmage is the 41. Shotgun for Wright. Stepping up and throwing. Incomplete. And lucky it wasn't picked off. He was looking for Todd Heap on the perimeter. And Lance Briggs jumped out with a chance for the pick.
Lance Briggs, he flashed right in front of Todd Heap. Had a chance to make a play on the ball. And right now, the Bears understand that this is a passing situation for Baltimore.
For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. The Bears leading the Ravens 10-6. 3:59 to go in the fourth. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast.
Key third down play in bunch formation, expecting pass.
3rd and 3. Wright. Tuck and run. And Wright getting right to the first down marker. He's got enough. This drive will continue as Tank Johnson chased him down, and Wright got it done himself.
He hit the right spot. The pressure comes off the corner. And he's going to see this open lane right here, and he's going to take off. See right there, it's wide open. There's no sense in throwing the ball, trusting his legs. Made it to the right spot, just barely picking up that first down with a face full of turf.
It is sloppy out there. Raining buckets. Low snap. Jamal Lewis back in there. Right. Guns to the sideline, out of bounds. It was Mason in the air. Now a 2nd and 15 after the penalty. Shotgun, Wright. Steps up. Wright. Guns. Could not make the connection to Mason. He had him open. There was separation between Mason and Vasher.
If you're asking for an opportunity to make a play, this is it. Because watch Derek Mason. See, Vasher whiffs. Now he's on top. Deliver an accurate throw up the football field. It's over the opposite shoulder. Anthony Wright understands I had one, and I let it get away.
5 straight incomplete passes for Wright. 3rd and 15. Fans come to their feet here at Soldier Field.
Do they love defense here?
Shotgun, Wright. Pressure, and sacked. Tank Johnson again. 4th sack of the day for this Chicago defense, and the 2nd for Tank.
It's from right up the middle. Here's Tank here, and he's one of the big guys. Actually working on the left. That was Ian Scott I drew, but you see the pressure coming up the middle. Both guys getting pinned inside, but Tank continues to work. That final game in December.
On a handoff, it's Jones. Running hard, and Jones breaks free. Down the sideline. Will Dempsey with the shove. Oh, what a critical run by Jones.
It's exactly what he did last week against the Minnesota Vikings. Last minutes of the game, showing that extra burst. He does not wear down, expecting the defense to. And when he takes it to the second level, very difficult to corral. And you see Chad Williams, the safety, gets out of sorts. He doesn't fit up front in terms of the defense plugging every hole, and Jones finds a seam, and when he hits it, he does it very quickly.
A 41-yard run for Jones, giving him 131 on the day. It is the longest play from scrimmage this season for the Bears in a first-place tie. Cedric Benson comes in from the 39 with 2:33 left. Handoff, it is Benson, the rookie, running into a crowd. And he picks up 2.5. Tommy Polley in on that stop. Baltimore will use another timeout, and that's it.
Ravens win a lot of games.
Bears are looking for one more first down. Handoff. Jones. And he's upended. It's a gain of 3.5, 4 yards for Jones.
About moving forward, but regardless of what happens here today, you have to win inside your division.
3rd and 3. Jones stumbling forward, and he picked up 2. So now you're looking at a 4th and 1. With 1:50 and counting, the Ravens cannot stop the clock. What do you do if you're Chicago?
I think 4th and 1, you go for it. Get 1 yard and essentially in the football game.
Do they go for the QB sneak or do they hand it to Thomas Jones? They'll give it to Jones. They need a yard. Hurdles. He's got it. Jones jumps up in celebration.
What a performance by Thomas Jones. He's going right up the middle. Ray Lewis out. You know where the hole's going to be.
Chicago gets the first down. And with 55 seconds left, the Bears are going to hold on for a gritty win at home. You knew that points were going to come at a premium. They were unable to get a touchdown, settling for 2 matched over field goals. And it's Chicago with a gutty win here at Soldier Field. The Bears knock off the Ravens 10-6 in a defensive showdown. For Solomon Wilcox and our entire CBS crew, this is Ian Eagle. Time to send it back to New York and Greg Gumbel.